Step 7, I am words. And this is something that, it's a story that my grandfather told me that I'll never forget. And it's one of those stories that just kind of really resonates with you, especially if you've been around people who have expressed in some hurtful ways. He said, words are like nails. And he goes, they're like nails in a fence. He goes, it doesn't matter if you remove the nails or not, there's still the hole from that nail. And so the words are just like that. They can actually wound somebody. And even though you can apologize and take them back, they are forever in that person. And so really become aware of that, because a lot of us, we don't, like, I've been sharing with you in some of these steps, we forget, we become so overwhelmed with all the stimulation and things coming at us that we forget to think or become aware before we actually speak. And Napoleon Hill states it. He says, think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. And let me tell you something. That other person, it could be you. Okay, so be careful, because a lot of times, in fact, all the time, we're constantly self-talking to ourselves. In fact, when I'm speaking, sharing these steps with you, even in the process of sharing this information with you, I'm thinking to myself, and it's one of those really cool things, because when you think about how amazing that is that we can be speaking and reading something, but at the same time we're giving ourselves feedback. It's powerful. And you can use it in good ways, but you can also use it in bad ways. Because, there's times where I'm going through this process and I get caught up in my head and it's starting to say bad things, and next thing you know, I forget and I have to start over. And so that's going on in your life, especially if you're not active in doing something. In fact, that's why a lot of people, when they get into depression, it's almost uncontrollable. And the best way to get out of depression is just to go do something, because then you're actually doing something and you're not caught up in this whole process that you're, losing your mind, so to speak, because you don't know what to do. You're not self-talking yourself. So think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. So remember that, but also just remember it really, most importantly, for yourself. And then, the reason we talk about this, and I really want you to associate the whole thing about I am words, okay, is because it's very, 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 very powerful. And I really want you to understand that every word you speak actually causes a vibration in the universe. So, this is one of the reasons why people say that sarcasm is not a good thing to be out there, speaking, because you're actually sending a vibration out to the universe, and the universe doesn't know humor. It doesn't understand. When you say, I want this, or you say, I don't want this, the universe is responding immediately to that word that you've spoken. And so your success is defined through the words that you speak and to yourself, okay? You want to make sure that, obviously, if you're getting in contact with that higher self and you're really starting to start yourself, your process from there, then, chances are that you'll say the right thing. But remember, we have this little thing that's on our shoulder. It's called our ego, or your chip on your shoulder, right? It's one of those things that it's really good. It knows exactly what to say or think to get you not to do what you need to do. And it's just one of the things we have to live with, and it's all about taming that ego. So you are what you thought, and you are becoming what you are thinking. So understand that. Don't worry about changing the past and changing who you are right now. Focus on changing who you're going to be in the future. And that's where things really start to happen, because a lot of times people get really wrapped up in the whole idea of, well, I don't like who I am right now, so I'm going to beat myself up and be bitter about the past or be bitter about other things. No, go ahead and just be okay with that. Forgive yourself for where you are right now. There is nothing you can do about it, period. I don't care who you are. You can't change the past. What you need to do is start focusing on who you want to be in the future. And so start thinking from that space. And don't worry about it. I mean, even if you're completely wiped out, destitute, whatever, don't worry about that. Just be okay with it. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just know that you're going to become better at who you are and about what your thoughts are, and really start to focus on that to get your energy flowing. Don't get wrapped up in trying to change the past. I promise you, it only leads to one thing, and that's severe depression. It's just not something you want to mix with. So remember that you are your words, and be your word. That's one thing that I really love about, some of the courses that I've taken. One of them being Landmark Forum. It's all about being your word. If you say you are going to do something, do it. And if you make a promise to somebody, fulfill it. And if you need to, you can renegotiate it or, retract it and let them know that you're going to do this instead. But just let them know. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, well, then the universe is saying to itself, you know what? He said he wanted this brand new car, but he also said he was going to make this phone call and he didn't do it. So maybe he doesn't really want the car, right? So remember, you are your words. I am words. And see you at the next step.